Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of Daviess County Fiscal Court to order. Today is Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. If you would, please stand with me as we have the opening prayer and the pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening. We pause before we do the work of the county. And I ask you, dear Lord, I thank you first for the many blessings you bestowed upon us as individuals, as a community, and as a nation. I ask you to please bless each one of us gathered here and those that are at home watching online. I know that many have frustrated hearts, troubled hearts. Lord, you bless us all. You bless us all unique. And you give us all different gifts. And yet you call us to love one another. I ask you to bless us as a community and help us to do that. Guide us as we do our work this evening. And bless all those we represent as elected officials. Pray this in the name of Jesus. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Brooke, go ahead.
1. Consideration for presentation. A. Proclaim October of 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Thank you. I'll read this proclamation. From the Daviess County, Kentucky Proclamation, Office of the County Judge Executive. Whereas domestic violence is a behavior pattern used to establish power and control over another through fear, intimidation, and abuse. And whereas annually 1 in 4 men experience domestic violence and 1 in 3 women will experience it in their lifetime. And whereas domestic violence does not discriminate, affecting all races, ages, genders, and income levels according to HUD, domestic violence is the 3rd leading cause of homelessness among U.S. families. And whereas 2 of 3 female murder victims are killed by a family member or intimate partner, and children living in violent, abusive homes are likely to suffer from physical and emotional health issues and difficulties in school. And whereas annually America spends $37 billion on domestic violence-related medical expenses, sheltering and foster care, law enforcement and legal costs, sick leave, absenteeism, and low employee productivity. And whereas 1 in 15 witness domestic violence annually in the U.S., and without a coordinated community effort to end this heinous crime, girls witnessing domestic violence are more vulnerable to abuse, and witnessing boys are likely to become perpetrators, thus continuing the cycle of violence. Now, therefore, I, Charlie Casson, Daviess County Judge Executive, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and urge all citizens to learn more about preventing domestic violence and support and show appreciation to the many local agencies and volunteers who provide protection, advocacy, and assistance to victims. Presented in Daviess County, Kentucky, the 2nd day of October 2025, signed and sealed, Charlie Casson, Daviess County Judge Executive. And I believe we have Andrea Robinson to receive this.
Having us.
Yes,
I want to
ma'am.
thank Fiscal Court for your continued support of survivors and being a part of that coordinated response. So we thank you and look forward to continued partnership.
Thank you.
And I have some enamel lapel pins for you guys.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to get a picture up
Okay.
here.
I'd like to also bring up staff and board. Is that okay?
That'd be fine. Well, she skedaddled, but I did want to say a thank you to all those who work in this, unfortunately, industry because of the volume of domestic violence that exists across America and across our community. And appreciate anyone who has the heart and the ability to go to work every day and do that kind of work. Anyone else? Brooke, next item.
B, proclaim October of 2025 as Manufacturing Month.
Commissioner Marksberry.
Daviess County, Kentucky Proclamation, Office of the Judge Executive. Whereas manufacturing is a vital part of our local, state, and national economy, providing good-paying jobs and contributing to economic growth and innovation. And whereas the manufacturing sector is a cornerstone of Owensboro, Kentucky, and Daviess County, employing thousands of skilled workers and supporting numerous businesses throughout the region. Whereas manufacturing companies in Owensboro and Daviess County are leaders in their industries, producing a wide range of goods, from automotive parts and food products to high-tech equipment and consumer goods. And whereas Manufacturing Month provides an opportunity to celebrate the significant role that manufacturers play in our community, recognize their contributions, and promote opportunities within the industry to students, job seekers, and the public. And whereas the Greater Owensboro Economic Development Corporation, along with the local manufacturers, educators, and community organizations, are committed to fostering a skilled workforce that meets the needs of our local manufacturers and enhances the quality of life for all citizens. Whereas Manufacturing Month aims to highlight the importance of manufacturing to the economy, raise awareness of the career opportunities available in manufacturing, and encourage future generations to pursue careers of this dynamic and evolving sector. Now therefore, I, Charlie Caslin, Daviess County Judge Executive, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Manufacturing Month in Owensboro, Kentucky and Daviess County, and encourage all citizens to join in recognition and supporting our local manufacturers, promoting economic growth, and fostering a skilled workforce for the future. Presented in Daviess County, Kentucky, this second day of October 2025, Charlie Caslin, Daviess County Judge Executive.
Thank you, Commissioner. I believe, I don't see him here, but is Brad Davis here to receive this? Way in the back, okay. Like Cinderella in your own little corner back there. All right. All right. If you want to introduce yourself for the record and then say a few words, and then
Sure.
we'll do a picture.
I'm Brad Daviess. I'm the Vice President for Business Development for the Greater Owensboro Economic Development Corporation. And just want to thank the Fiscal Court for their continued support of the manufacturing community and the business community in general. They're a great partner of the EDC and the community. And just a couple of facts for everybody to kind of add on to what the proclamation. Manufacturing employs about 7,400 people here in the county, which is about 14% of the total workforce. And it's also about 24% of the gross product, the GDP of the county. And nationally, the average is about 10. So it's an extremely vital part of our community and our economic and business community. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. This morning at the Rooster Booster breakfast, the speaker was Secretary Noel, and he had a number of stats that he shared as well about the impact of manufacturing in Daviess County, and he gave a very good presentation. Next item, Brooke.
C, proclaim October 4th of 2025 as 10-4 Awareness Day.
Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Judge. From the Office of the Judge, County Judge Executive, Charlie Caslin. Whereas children under the age of 4 are at higher risk of serious physical injury or death as a result of child abuse. And whereas Kentucky has a higher rate of substantiated child victims of abuse under the age of 1 than the national average. And whereas research from pediatricians has led to a tool called the 10-4 FACES bruising rule to help identify bruising in areas that are causes for concern on children younger than 4 years of age. And whereas 10-4 FACES says that any bruising before a child who is not yet pulling up or taking steps, especially those 4 months old of age or younger, and any bruising on the torso, ears, and neck, the 10, as well as the frenulum, angle of jaw, cheeks, eyelids, subconjunctive faces, and patterned bruising are significant red flags for child abuse and need to be reported. And whereas Kentucky requires the training of certain professionals such as nurses, doctors, social workers, and first responders on this rule within the pediatric abusive head trauma training, but it is imperative to have as many adults as possible ready to identify these concerning bruises. And whereas COSAIR for Kids Face It movement is a leading campaign to end child abuse that aims to bring awareness to the 10-4 FACES bruising clinical decision rule with a traditional and social media campaign and educational events on the days surrounding October 4th, 10-4 on 10-4. And whereas the University of Louisville and the University of Kentucky forensic pediatricians and their teams are providing trainings the week of October 4, 2025 for free to educate about the 10-4 facts bruising clinical decision rule to identify abuse early, as well as sharing tips for prevention. Now, therefore, I, Charlie Caslin, Daviess County Judge Executive, do hereby proclaim October 4 as the 10-4 Awareness Day and urge all citizens to do their part in recognizing and ending trauma in our children. Presented this day, October 2nd, 2025, Charlie Caslin, Daviess County Judge Executive.
Thank you, Commissioner Condor. I believe Ms. Rosemary Condor is here to accept this.
Thank you, Judge and Commission. I'm Rosemary Condor, and I'm on the Board of Trustees of Kentucky Youth Advocates. And every year, Kentucky Youth Advocates partners with CoShare Charities in the Face It program to bring awareness to children with abuse in our community, in our state. Sadly, Kentucky's had that designation as one of the top for child abuse for decades. So 10-4 is a great reminder for us to look at ways that we can prevent it. Kentuckians are mandatory reporters of suspected abuse. So if you suspect it, you can report it, and then the state will investigate that. So we have an opportunity and an obligation to look out for our children and to make sure that they're safe. So I'm proud to represent the Board of Trustees in receiving this proclamation, so thank you.
Hello, my name is Alondra Johnson. I am the Executive Director for CASA, stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. We advocate for children in the family court system due to abuse, neglect, and dependency. I wanted to first thank you guys for everything that you do, but also say that if you have a passion for serving children and helping abused and neglected children here in Daviess County, we run off of volunteers that do just that. They advocate for children right in front of the judges where it matters, where those important decisions are being made on behalf of the vulnerable children in our community.
If you don't mind, and for the benefit of those watching at home and all those that are here in the audience, many times when you talk about volunteering, one of the first questions is, how much time, if I were to volunteer as a CASA person, how much time do you expect me to put in?
So it really depends on the severity of the case, but what we see really is that it averages between 8 to 10 hours a month. And that takes into consideration the time that the volunteer goes to visit the child twice a month, getting to talk to the doctors, getting to talk to the therapists, the social workers, everybody involved in that child's life. It's really important work and very crucial work that they do on behalf of the child, especially through all that uncertainty that they're going through in the family court system. Many of them do not go to court. They don't really know what's going on and all these important decisions being made on behalf of them, and they don't feel like they understand it and really have a say in that. And that's where the volunteer really comes in to play in that role. They get to be that voice for the child right in front of the judge.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Condor.
Ms. Johnson, could you give, for the public notice, would you have so many people here, not only in the audience, but also watching? How do they contact you if they really want to make a difference in a child's life? It's your people do and your staff does? How do they do that?
Absolutely. So they can reach us different varieties of ways. On Facebook through CASA of Ohio Valley. They can also give us a phone call at 270-683-2138. They can stop by our office. We're located at 608 Frederica Street, Suite 100A. If they flag us down, if they see us anywhere, out to eat, out in public, we love sharing our mission. We're very passionate about it, and we'd love to get more people involved in what we do.
Okay, good question, Commissioner. And 608 Frederica, that's the corner of 7th and Frederica, isn't it?
It is. So it's right across the street from Bruscia in that building that they're reconstructing as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
very good.
I have something to say. Yes, so Alondra won't say this, but they will take donations as well if you don't have time.
We will. Yes, we will. Thank you. Yes.
All right, let's get out here and get a picture. Next item, Brett.
2, consideration for approval. A, minutes of September 18, 2025, Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting.
Motion. Second.
We got a motion and a second. We've all had the minutes to review for several days. Do I hear any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. These are all the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court. Are there any questions from the court for Mr. Johnson? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
C, health insurance premium rates for plan year 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
These are the health insurance premium rates for plan year 2026 for employees of Daviess County Fiscal Court. The Fiscal Court's health insurance is with the State of Kentucky Employees Health Plan, or KHP. I have provided the state's health insurance contribution rates and the Daviess County Fiscal Court equivalent employee contribution rates. The reason that some of the county rates would differ from the state's published rates is that for the past 20-plus years or so, Fiscal Court has chosen to adopt a 15/85 employee-employer contribution ratio for premiums, and that means that employees will pay no more than 15% of the total premium. However, we cannot enforce an employee contribution above that of the state's published rates, meaning that ultimately employees pay the lower of 15% of the total premium or the state's rate, which in some, if not most cases, is lower than the 15% of the total premium. There were some minor to moderate increases in some of the plans this year. Rates have been distributed to all departments and offices in preparation for upcoming open enrollment. I would recommend your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions from the court? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
D, contract with Allegion Access Technologies, LLC, for auto swing operator installation for Daviess County Courthouse.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon.
Yes, Judge. This agreement in the amount of $3,453 is for the installation of one auto swing operator at the Daviess County Courthouse. Currently, the ADA entrance on 3rd Street does not have a wireless operator for visitors. While the entrance is ADA compliant, it can be cumbersome. This project will increase the ease of access for public. Legal and I have reviewed the document and see no issue.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court?
I'd like to make a comment, Judge, on
Go
this
ahead.
one, this one and the next one. These are for the automatic doors, and thanks for for everybody in the staff that, once that was brought up as an issue of a need, that they got right on it and took care of this for those people who were having trouble getting in the doors.
Agreed. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
E, contract with Allegion Access Technologies, LLC, for auto swing operator installation for Daviess County Operations Center.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon.
This agreement in the amount of $6,850 is for the installation of 2 auto swing operators at the Daviess County Operations Center. Currently, the public entrance at the Operations Center does not have wireless operator for visitors. Again, while the entrance is ADA compliant, it can be cumbersome. This project will increase the ease of access for the public. Legal and I have reviewed the document and see no issue.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court? And this mirrors what you said on
Yes,
the other one.
Operations Center.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
F, accept professional service proposal of Gardner Engineering and Consulting, PLLC, for structural assessment of Rosenwald School Building.
Motion to approve?
Second. Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon.
Yes, Judge, this proposal in the amount of $1,200 will provide the court with a structural assessment and analysis of the Rosenwald School Building located at Yellow Creek Park. This building is approximately 110 years old and has developed some soft spots in the flooring. This assessment will identify any safety concerns and how to address them. Gardner Engineering and Consulting, PLLC, is a known vendor, and the services fee is within reasonable range per Parks Department management.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I just wanted, before we move on, item G has been removed from the agenda, so we'll go to item H.
H, security services agreement 01-2025 through the Daviess County Sheriff's Office effective September 2nd, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion second, Mr. Johnson.
The Davis County Sheriff's Office has historically contracted with various agencies to provide security as a general public benefit and to afford deputies overtime opportunities. The fiscal court has always been indifferent to this practice since all incremental costs to the sheriff's office are covered by the revenue of the contracts, generally meaning they don't cost the public anything. A high level of security is provided for various events and locations in the county, and this does allow deputies an opportunity for overtime at no cost to the taxpayer. The state auditor's office has recently advised that such contracts require the approval of fiscal court, so we will see several of these standardized agreements on the agenda in the coming months. The security services agreement is with the Bluegrass Hall of Fame and Museum. Although approval is a ratification of the judge executive's signature, the sheriff maintains full authority of all such contracts with his office, both in initiation and execution. It should be noted that our peer counties operate this way, and I see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions for the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
I, Security Service Agreement 02-2025 through the Daviess County Sheriff's Office effective September 10, 2025.
Move
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
We got a motion second, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge, same as the prior item, except this agreement is with Settle Memorial United Methodist Church. Again, I see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
J, Security Service Agreement 03-2025 through the Daviess County Sheriff's Office effective September 26 of 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion second, Mr. Johnson.
Same as the previous two items, except this agreement is with the Owensboro Community and Technical College Incorporated. Again, I see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
K, declare surplus inventory and include scheduled items in the 2025 auction listing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion second, Ms. Sturgeon?
Yes, Judge. In fiscal court session September 18th, 2025, a schedule of items was presented to be included in our in-house surplus auction to be held on Friday, October 3rd at 9 a.m. local time at the Operations Center. The Sheriff's Office identified an additional unit to be included in the auction. This requires the court to declare this item surplus in accordance with KRS 67.08024 and our administrative code.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from Ms. Sturgeon? No. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
L, award bid number 2526-17, Community Notification Siren Replacement Project.
Motion to approve. Second.
We got a motion second, Ms. Sturgeon?
We received two bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by Ohio Valley Two-Way Radio for the Community Notification Siren Replacement Project in the amount of $41,200.17. This is an unbudgeted replacement of an inoperable unit currently in inventory. Ohio Valley Two-Way Radio is a known vendor. There were no exceptions to the specification, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions for Ms. Sturgeon from the court? Nope. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
M, award RFQ number 2526-22, 4 mobile litter catch systems.
Motion to approve.
Second.
You got a motion second, Ms. Sturgeon?
We received 3 quotes and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated quote submitted by Meta Technologies for 4 new mobile litter catch systems in the total amount of $29,800. This is a budgeted addition to current inventory. These units will be used to control litter around the working face of the landfill and offer more flexibility when operating on the working face. Meta Technologies is a known vendor. There were no exceptions to the specification, and I recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court? No. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
N, award RFQ number 2526-25, 4 new 40-yard roll-off containers.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, Ms. Sturgeon?
Yes, Judge, we received 3 quotes and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated quote submitted by Waste Equip for 4 new 40-yard roll-off containers for the Davis County solid waste in the amount of $27,314.28. This is the budget addition of our current inventory at the West Davis County landfill by 2 units and the budgeted replacement of 2 units at the Grimes Avenue Transfer Station. Due to the volatility of steel prices, this price may fluctuate slightly prior to ordering. This expense will be offset by the Kentucky Pride Grant, which was approved in fiscal court session June 5th, 2025, in the amount of $19,000. The anticipated cost of fiscal court is between $12,000 and $15,000. There were no exceptions to the specification, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court?
No.
Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
O, appoint Tim Klein to the Davis County Library Board effective October 2nd, 2025 through September 13, 2029.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Want to, in the past on these, I know there's a lot of folks here that want to speak to this or here because of their interest in this. What I'd like to do is allow one person, and I did this last time, one person from, I'm going to call them the red shirts, and one from the blue shirts. Sir, if you want to.
Good evening, everyone. Jerry Chapman, Chairman of Davis County Citizens for Decency, live here in Owensboro. Many from the other side have called this board appointment political. I would counter that if it were political, Judge Castleton's appointment of Al Mattingly would never have happened. That was an appointment he received severe criticism for, an appointment Citizens for Decency vehemently opposed, and frankly, an appointment we won't let him forget. No, this isn't about politics. It is and always has been about protecting and nurturing the children of this county. We used to be able to rely upon our public library for that nurturing. I pray each of you will remember that as you vote this evening. Judge Castleton is right on this appointment, however. The library will benefit from an attorney being on this board, if and only if that attorney has integrity. In June of this year, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and remember that please, June, issued a landmark decision in Little v. Llano County, Texas, in which they said, and I'm quoting, "Public library collection decisions are government speech, therefore not afforded protections under the First Amendment." I want to repeat that. Public library collection decisions are government speech, therefore not afforded protections under the First Amendment. I believe the attorney who was on this board knew that because she parroted the plaintiff's argument from that case at the August library board meeting. 2 months, a full 2 months after this opinion was rendered. She said, and I quote, "The library cannot make," hold on, let me. "The library can't remove books simply because of content alone." An argument that the Fifth Circuit judges called both mind-boggling and preposterous. In making the decision, the Fifth Circuit relied heavily upon a previous decision of the United States Supreme Court in a case involving the American Library Association. They referred to it simply as ALA. In ALA, Justice Breyer, speaking for the majority, said, and again I quote, "To fulfill their traditional mission, public libraries must have broad discretion to decide what material to provide to their patrons." He explained that a library's goal has never been to provide universal coverage, but rather to provide materials that would be of the greatest direct benefit to the interest of the community. Still quoting, Libraries collect only those materials deemed to have requisite and appropriate quality. Quoting again, a library's need to exercise judgment in making collection decisions depends on its traditional role in identifying suitable and worthwhile material. The Fifth Circuit was a bit more direct in their language, quoting again, how else are libraries supposed to choose the books on their shelves if not by discriminating according to content and viewpoint? Separating the gold from the garbage means by definition rejecting some books and preferring others because of what they say and how they say it. This is common sense, end quote. These courts in each of their decisions used words like traditional, community, suitable, worthwhile, appropriate, discriminating, and common sense. Given the conservative values of Justice Breyer in speaking for the Supreme Court majority and the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, I think I'm safe in saying they weren't talking about genderqueer and all boys aren't blue. Those same conservative values relied upon by the Supreme Court and the Fifth Circuit are the values held by the voters who elected each and every one of you. Inasmuch, you are a reflection of those values. You're sitting up there because you led voters to believe you would stand for those conservative values. So, voters have every right to expect you to stand up for those values tonight. Tim Klein also reflects those values. Do the right thing tonight, please, and vote yes on Tim's nomination. He's a lawyer with integrity. Thank you.
I'm Cheryl Brown. I live in the Down subdivision in Daviess County. The coalition, for those who don't know, the Coalition for an Inclusive Daviess County is a coalition of civic groups, churches, and individuals that happen to believe that every human being in our community deserves to be respected, valued, and empowered. We are honored to have the full support of First Presbyterian Church, Central Presbyterian, Unity Fellowship, Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Owensboro, the Ministerial Alliance, AAUW, Nonviolent Owensboro, Human Relations Commission, NAACP, the Coffee Party, Prism Arts Alliance, just to name a few. We come together to speak with one voice. It's unfortunate and unnecessary that we find ourselves once again in a contentious and divisive situation with our public library. The coalition and the majority of the community only request has been to appoint nonpartisan and qualified people to the library board. Our public library deserves to be an institution free from political, religious, and personal influence. And the First Amendment deserves the same respect as the Second. Over and over again, this judge exec has overlooked well-qualified KDLA-approved candidates and instead used partisan politics and religious extremism in the decision-making. The current library board candidate is a pastor at a church that was out in front of the library with a priest using incense and full robes in the June 2023 protesting Pride Month. To be surprised by the shock and anger of the community about another blatantly partisan library board pick is oblivious, to say the least. I worked in management for many years and hired many people. I always included my team in hiring decisions, and I valued their expertise and guidance in hiring the right person. It builds trust and accountability to include key stakeholders in the hiring process. The lack of transparency in this board nomination process is astonishing. It is a clear overreach of power to ignore well-qualified applicants to place peers that support one's own religious ideology on a public board. However, it is obvious that this isn't about building trust in our community. It is about promoting and enabling a political ideology that isn't sustainable. Science is not on your side. History is not on your side. Compassion and the First Amendment is not on your side. and the youth and young professionals are not on your side. Resisting progress and alienating the majority of the community will not make our community better. The taxpayers that support the library are diverse, and our library should reflect that diversity. For those that say, I don't want my tax dollars supporting that, I'll remind them that our tax dollars are often spent on services we don't use or agree with. I don't enjoy hunting or fishing, but there are books about hunting and fishing in the library, and our parks and shooting range support those that do also. It doesn't mean one person gets to decide they don't want to read them, so no one else should either. Our diversity is a powerful gift in our community. If we are wise, we should teach our children the beauty of that diversity and empower them with knowledge, courage, and empathy to make the world a better place. We can demonstrate this through the power of storytelling in books and biographies, censoring books, moving books, however you want to spin it. It is about control, not protection. This false narrative about pornography and indoctrination is just a scare tactic to garner a reaction. If these same individuals are so concerned about grooming and indoctrination, they might want to consider attending the program tonight being provided by New Beginnings Sexual Assault Support Services. It's at 7 at Kentucky Wesleyan College. Because it's not librarians and books that negatively impact children. It's the people you least expect. I'll just remind everyone listening that midterms are next year, and our power is our vote. The coalition will continue advocating, watching, educating, and campaigning in the meantime. And no matter the outcome of today's vote, I'll leave our community with this wise quote from Martin Luther King Jr. "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." Because this isn't about one vote or one book or one person. It's about a vision and a better way forward for our community and the world we live in.
So we've heard from both sides. Do any commissioners care to speak before we cast our votes? Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead, Commissioner Marksberry.
I've received emails from both sides of this debate, and I've read all of them. Some are original, and some I've copy and paste. But I will say I've had more public feedback on this issue than any other since becoming county commissioner. Those opposing this nominee have used terms like Christian nationalist, as well as talking about his race and his sex, and the fact he is a minister as reasons not to support Mr. Klein. Yet the other 5 nominees were also white. Some were faith leaders of different sexes. None of those drew complaints. Only when Mr. Klein was nominated did race, religion, and sex suddenly become an issue. Some argue the proposed library changes target LGBTQ individuals or people of color. I've attended library board meetings for at least 3 years, and I have not seen board members act in this way. That claim simply does not reflect reality. The truth is, with a 5-member board, someone is going to be unhappy with the outcome for whomever is chosen for this position, because they will be a turning point for this board. Appointments to boards are the responsibility of the judge executive, who was elected as a Republican, just like every member of this fiscal court. Republicans are expected to hold conservative values, and all of us ran on that. Personally, I hoped the new board member would be a parent of teenagers, given the concerns about the reading material for that group. At least 2 female candidates with teenage children applied. I would have supported that, but the judge did not ask my opinion or engage me in any way. After speaking with Mr. Klein, I learned he does have teenage children. For me, that was all I needed to know. I believe the public needs to understand I am liaison in name only for this library. There is no back and forth between me and the judge with these nominees or anything else on this board. This debate is getting old. It's a tired way for some people to feel they are in control of someone else's life. The truth is, everyone makes their own choice, and nothing either side can do will dictate the way a person chooses to live their life or how they feel about their choices. When I ran for office, I was open about who I am. I'm a Bible-believing, gun-owning Christian conservative, and that hasn't changed, and it won't. I will not be pressured or shamed into abandoning my faith or my values. I won't compromise them, and as long as I am a member of the fiscal court, I will continue to fight to protect the innocence of young hearts and minds. And we just read in our proclamation, which I didn't know was coming tonight, people that witness domestic violence tend to also commit that, and the same could be with child abuse. Yet the books that are in question talk about these issues. They bring them forward to these children who may not have heard about it before, or it could be someone who may want to be a copycat and try to do it to someone else. Tonight, we discussed advocating for children. But let me be clear, this isn't about pushing religion, it's about common sense. You had your turn. It's about common sense. It's about inappropriate books being placed in a more appropriate section, period. That's why I am supporting this candidate. Thank you, Judge.
Commissioner Cassidy, anything? Commissioner Gardner, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. This has been one of the most charged events that we've had, and it continues to be, even starting a year ago, and it continues to be so. Kind of sad, actually, that it continues to be divisive, that it fuels so much finger pointing and name calling. It is truly sad. I was going to say something in my commissioner comments, but I'm going to say it right now. I'm not for sure how many people actually know what today is. Today is Yom Kippur, a day of atonement for our sins. That is the Jewish holiday that at the end of Rosh Hashanah, not only do we forgive our neighbors, regardless of who they are, where you come from, or how you're born, or who you know, that you forgive your neighbor. And then once you've done that, you ask God to forgive you. So right now, I ask for God to forgive me for any transgressions I may have had, and probably will. In this regard of this appointment itself, we have received over 260 some odd emails. Some of them a little brash, and most just explaining their stories, and that's great. It truly is. I've only actually contacted one individual, and that was to set them straight on some facts about myself. The rest I did not. I have not talked to anyone else about this matter outside of Commissioner Marks very briefly and Commissioner Caslin also briefly, and finally contacting Tim Klein. I didn't know him. I had no idea about the guy. I even asked some lawyers about him, and since he has moved his practice basically at home, finding that out after I talked to him, we had about an hour conversation. And it was very frank conversation, asking questions back and forth. And yes, I know he's a lawyer. And he probably prepped himself for whatever, statements he wished to make. That's obvious, is what he did. And that's good. But the promises were made, especially by myself and even to him. And so I make them to you, that these type of issues are very serious, but we need to begin to heal. And so where does that angst come from? It comes from the servant leadership of those individuals you see on this desk, especially for the person maybe that is sitting in the judge executive's chair. It may begin and it should end there. And we should begin the process of healing, of reaching across to each other, of loving each other, because that's what God would want us to all do. So please understand this. We do not take this lightly. This moment is paramount for us to move forward as a community, that we can get along, that we can reach across the aisle. It is possible. We need to send a signal to the rest of the state of Kentucky that we can have our differences, but we can find common ground because other places are watching. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Castor, you still passing? All right. Go ahead, Brooke, do the roll call. Start with Commissioner Conder, please.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Judge Executive Caslin,
Yes.
Commissioner Marksberry,
Yes.
Commissioner Caslin,
No.
Motion carries 3-1. Next
P,
item.
P, hire Colton Staples as service technician effective September 29, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Want to congratulate Colton on his hire. Wish him well as he serves our community. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3, consideration for discussion. A, first reading of KLC .8, 2025, 11-2025, an ordinance imposing a temporary moratorium on certain categories of group housing and facilities in Daviess County.
This is a first reading, so we do not have a motion or second. Counselor?
Thanks, Judge. An ordinance imposing a temporary moratorium on certain categories of group housing and facilities in Daviess County. There's several whereas clauses that I'm going to read. Whereas the Daviess County Fiscal Court has received public input expressing concern over the location of certain categories of group housing and other facilities within Daviess County. And whereas the Daviess County Fiscal Court desires to obtain data related to these types of group housing and facilities to determine the accuracy of public input. And whereas the Daviess County Fiscal Court desires the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission to review the zoning ordinance to determine whether changes are needed to address the concerns raised by citizens. And whereas the Daviess County Fiscal Court believes it is appropriate to pause applications with regard to these categories of group housing and facilities while the Planning Commission conducts its review. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Daviess, Commonwealth of Kentucky. There's 4 sections and, there's 5 sections, and I'll read a part of section 5. Unless repealed or extended, the moratoria imposed by this ordinance shall remain in effect for 1 year. And there's no vote, Judge, since it's a first reading. Thank
Right.
you.
I just want to say for the public's benefit, each of the commissioners after the city of Owensboro passed their moratorium or introduced their moratorium, we had, each of the commissioners came to me and asked me if expressed concern and wondered if we shouldn't take this action. That is why this is on here. This is a mirror of, pretty much a mirror of what the city of Owensboro passed. And anyway, any questions or comments from the commissioners? Commissioner Marks, go ahead, Commissioner Marksberry.
I just was wondering, since we had someone come in here for a zone change the other day and they were doing apartments, Will this affect them since they've not built their apartments yet? Because their zone change got passed, but, and maybe John Burlew could answer that.
I'm not sure it will because it is not a,
Not a group house or
it's not a true
rehabilitation.
group housing or rehabilitation center. So Commissioner,
I agree,
I mean,
Judge.
Counselor,
I agree with you.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
I was told by someone that they understood there was one that was about to be applied for here in Davis County outside the city limits. That's one reason I went ahead and put this on the agenda. So, anyone else? Commissioner Gardner.
Yes, Judge, I think that was the clarification. I believe I even asked further of OMPC of the effect of what Commissioner Marksberry was talking about. And that property actually is not in question because it's just residential living is all it is. It is outside of this purview of what that moratorium may, so it would have any effect. So, yeah, I even had that same concern. So it was a good, very good question.
Any questions or comments from the public on this ordinance? Hearing none, next item, Brooke.
B, other business to be brought before the Davis County Fiscal Court. There is none that I'm aware of. C, public comments.
This is a part of our meeting where we invite the public, come forward, state your name and address for the record. You're welcome to speak to any item that was not covered by the agenda.
Just a couple of public events.
State your name and address, please.
Excuse me. I'm Darren Tapp. I'm one of the black shirts here tonight. And anyways, there's a couple of public events that I would like to announce that are upcoming. On October 10th and 11th out at Windy Hollow Speedway, we will be, I'm hosting the Earl and Nikki Hayden Memorial Race. And it should be a great time. We've got competitors coming from all over the world the last 2 years to compete in this. If you've never seen professional motorcycle racers on a dirt track, it's really cool. So it's a double header because the June event got rained out. So they're back to back this year. We usually have a June and October event, but so the whole weekend's going to be racing and festivities and celebrations of life for Earl and Nikki Hayden. If you don't know, Nikki Hayden was a 2006 MotoGP world champion right here from Owensboro, Kentucky. The other thing I would like to announce is at Patriot Headquarters on 1700 Frederica Street, we're going to have a heavenly birthday celebration for Charlie Kirk. On the evening, his birthday is October the 14th. So we're just going to have a good time, and we'll probably be grilling out and watching videos of Charlie Kirk and just having a good time. And that will be again at Patriot Headquarters on 1700 Frederica Street. Everybody's welcome to come. October 14th at 6 p.m. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to any item that has not been covered on the agenda? Next item, Brooke.
D, comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry.
You're slow getting up, sir.
Hi, my name is Mike Hamlet. I live at 6160 Sutter Loop West, and I'd like to tell you about an idea I had to help the community clean up the trash and the flooding problem we've been having. And I talked to the city about this too. It'd be an app, like a Google Maps app, when you're driving down the road and it says roadblock ahead. This would be trash ahead. They could report refuse near the roadway, and people could pick it up. They could geolocate themselves and pick it up, get a gas card, get a free car wash. And to compile an APK is really, you could get on the AI and have it generate the code in Python and paste it into Python. I could just about do it. And I know there's several bright young minds in this community that could do it. And I would like to see my tax dollars that are being spent. You know, I've been up here mouthing about my taxes, that what y'all are doing with all my tax money. And I'd like to see it being spent on something like that, that is in line with my beliefs. And the other thing I'd like to point out is election season is coming up soon. And the polarity in this community is real. And it bothers me. When I was a kid, you know, I grew up, I remember when they built Immaculate Church. That was the edge of town. Thoroughbred Acres didn't exist. Well, I went dove hunting back there with the Mattingly boys. And now, a friend of mine found a rock on his porch with hate speech on it about Charlie Kirk. There was a rock thrown at headquarters up on Frederica with hate speech on it about Charlie Kirk. Okay, that's not coming from the side that is trying to do right. And the violence that we're seeing now is not coming from the conservative people, okay? So all the shooting and all this stuff is disturbing. And now is the time for us to come together. And I think picking trash up and cleaning out the ditches would be a great way to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, he was slow getting up, so this time, last call for anybody to speak to any item that has not been covered on the agenda. Okay, Brooke.
D, comments by Davis County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Conder.
Just one thing, Judge, if everyone noticed, probably getting here was a little bit of a traffic problem and parking. That is due to the city's Illuminate program that is going to be starting tomorrow afternoon, I believe around 2 o'clock. There will be, just get on your phone and hit the app and look at it. You look at the lawn of the convention center, it looks like the biggest bounce house I've ever seen in my life. That's over there. So it is going to be beautiful. The drones, they're there. You're going to really love what's coming this weekend. It will bring your kids. I'm telling you, yes, you may have parked a little way away, but the event, the weather's going to be perfect. Please come down, enjoy it. It's a free event.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Marksberry.
Thank you, Judge. I believe I'm right, this Saturday and Sunday at the Philpott Fairgrounds, we're going to do the Harvest Fest, and this is sort of taking the place of what they did at Reed's when they used to do the Apple Festival. So that's Saturday and Sunday. And then a church I grew up in, Bethabara Baptist Church in Habit, Kentucky, they're celebrating their 200th anniversary celebration this Sunday, so that's quite a long time, and I think they were one of the first Baptist churches here, and several other churches spun off of that at some point. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I can't let this go without saying, is this the picture that supposedly has Tim Klein outside of the library? Would you like to take a look? That's not what was said, but thank you. Okay. It'll be recorded, thank you. Just want to make sure that there's no more disinformation going around.
Commissioner Marksberry, don't engage.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Commissioner Casson, do you have anything?
Okay.
This
Thank you,
Commissioner Casson's turn, please.
Thank you, Judge. Michael, thanks about the trash part. We don't have it on an app, but we do have it. Well, it's actually Daviess County Fiscal Court. There is an app for us, and if you can download that to your phone, if you do see the trash, you can type trash in the search bar. It'll take you to the place to report trash, and it actually has an interactive map. I appreciate you bringing that up because it's a great tool that we can use, and it's very helpful to report it that way. You're asking me questions of things I don't understand. I don't know. It's maybe, okay, it's a mobile version of our website, so you can put that app on your phone.
She may not have been clear, but Commissioner Marksberry said it's on the mobile version of our website.
You can still see it on your phone.
Yes, and just click right on it.
It's like an app, but it's not really an app. It's on, you can get a mobile version.
Commissioner Casson.
And for that, and so in addition to what Commissioner Conder said, the information about the Illuminate it's illuminateowensboro.com, gives you a map as well about the information, times, locations of things of what is offered through that. And last, I just, I want to say that a few weeks ago, there was an article in the paper about the number of cases of West Nile in our region, and one person has recently died from it. And the person, it was Carl Millay, friend of mine, because he was the best man for my dad in my parents' wedding back in 1969. And I bring that up to everybody as a reminder that, Carl, 76 years old and relatively healthy person, but just continue to use precautions, insect repellent, that kind of thing. I know nothing's 100% effective, but please remember to take care of yourself. So, Judge, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I want to continue thanking those who have participated in our Cash for Trash program. And you mentioned, Mike, you mentioned getting paid to pick up trash. Nonprofits can get paid for picking up trash. So far in this round, we had 3,240 pounds of trash picked up. 2,780 pounds were by the nonprofits: Apollo High School Eaglettes, Green River Area Down Syndrome, Knights of Columbus, 14290, Mary Carrico School, and Mosleyville Volunteer Fire Department. And 460 pounds were picked up by our contract person, Gish Lawn. And we're up to 30, we're up to almost 40,000 pounds of trash, not quite 20 tons. Daviess County High School, I want to recognize their junior ROTC. They received Navy Distinguished Unit Award for the 10th year in a row. And congratulations to them. And anything else, Brooke? Oh, our next fiscal court, what day? Our next fiscal court meeting is not in 2 weeks. It's been changed. It'll be on 10/23 at same time, same place, but just the day has changed, 10/23. I do want to take a moment and thank all those who reached out to all of us on the library board appointment. I must say I'm disappointed in the tone of some of the comments that were made to me. They were personal attacks. And all of us up here that choose to run for office and that happen to win, we do it with good intention. I believe that with all my being. And it's unfortunate. It's one thing when you go after people at the federal level, and maybe even the state level that you don't know personally across the Commonwealth or across the nation, and to blast them. But when you're doing your neighbors, I think we can do better. And I do, for what it's worth. And Commissioner Connor, I felt like one of your comments was a direct slap at me, and maybe I misread you. But generally, I don't reach out and have you all vet any of my board appointments, whether it's to the hospital, whether it's to RWRA, whether it's to the library. I just give you a name. Sometimes I reach out to you all and say, hey, I'm having trouble finding somebody. Would you give me a name? Commissioner Marksberry, I've appointed somebody that you've given me for the hospital board appointment. Commissioner Casson, I've appointed somebody, I don't remember which board, but you gave me the name of somebody to appoint to board. And Commissioner Conder, I don't know if you've ever given me one or not. I'm drawing.
OMPC.
Oh, okay, there you go. So, and so when I struggle, and one thing that I try to do is I try not to have lifetime appointments. There are some boards like this, like the library board, by state law, it's capped at 8 years, 2 terms. And some boards, their bylaws cap board appointments. There, but generally, I don't like having somebody serving on 4 different boards. Back when I first got into politics as a city commissioner, it seemed like there were about 6 people on all the boards, and some of them seem to have been there forever. And I just made the decision that if I ever got in a position where I could make board appointments, I wouldn't do lifetime board appointments, and I would try not to have the same person serve on multiple boards. And I do know that Mr. Klein has also been appointed to the RWRA board. I don't think those 2 boards would be a conflict at all. Anyway, that's all I have. Anything else, Brooke? I mentioned the meeting, so without further business, this meeting is adjourned.